Austin Silver. Austin, how are you doing today?
Dude, that's a better intro than most people give me. Some people try to like make fun of me and call me Austin Powers or something like that. I like your intro better, but I'm doing good,
Nothing
man.
wrong
I
with that.
appreciate you having me on here.
No, it's awesome. And obviously, Austin, I've had you on the round table before where we
Yep.
dived into Forex and some other good topics. So
Yep.
today is going to be everything different and from a completely different angle. And I'm really interested because I can really relate to you. We've got similar interests, and I'm looking to tap in and understand a little bit about what you think in the current markets and a few things that I suppose are hot topics right now. So
Sure.
no, we're just going to have the general chit chat, but we're going to really sort of tap into to what you think on a couple of subjects. So I want to
Sure.
start with what is going on because I know you're a big precious metals guy like
I
myself.
am. Dude, I am.
What's going on and what's the hidden agenda or what's the movement behind Warren Buffett? Because obviously I'm big in my gold as well, but I watch a lot. I want to know your thoughts. What's happening with gold right now, and especially in America? What's the movement?
So right now, gold, the day that we're filming this, it's September 25th. Gold is priced right now 1859. So it's actually down off that 2000 2100 level that everybody was super excited about.
Yeah.
Silver is actually down as well to about $22 an ounce, which is great. I've been buying silver since earlier this year when it was $14 an ounce, and I've been buying gold for longer than that. My dad used to buy gold back in the day, so I've always seen that value.
Yeah.
Separate from crypto, this precious metal market, I think, is really in a great position for people like you and me. If you're younger than 35, 40 years old, the investment that we can make into these precious metals, if you look back over time, tells us that we are going to make a good decision. It tells us that we're going to make money. How much money? I don't know. We can't guess that. It could be a lot. It might not be. But I think to say that these precious metals will lose value over time, nobody's saying that, bro. Nobody is saying that. So you just need to know how to buy it. So for me, what's going on is pricing on gold. I think what you're seeing is 2000 being the new level. It was broken and now it's being used, I think, as support before we see another move higher. You've got big American hedge fund guys like Paul Tudor Jones, Ray Dalio, even them, just like you were talking about Buffett. They're all moving money into gold in different ways. So it begs the question, how do we do it? I'm doing it in a couple of different ways. Number one, I always think you should have 3 to 6 months savings in your house in a safe in precious metals, in gold and in silver. I have a little bit of platinum too, just because I wanted to see what it was like, because I never felt like real platinum in the bar
Yeah.
form. So I bought a couple, but gold and silver to me are the better play. Honestly, between platinum and all the other metals, I think copper is the next up and coming thing because it's so cheap. It's like under
Oh, really?
$3 right
Oh,
now.
okay.
So I think copper might be a move. But for the gold and silver, 3 to 6 months savings in the house, I think is the best bet. And then what I'm kind of trying to figure out, not recommend to people yet, but I'm trying to figure it out because I heard Robert Kiyosaki talk about it. I heard a lot of other really wealthy people talk about it, is they're buying gold in other countries and storing it in vaults in the other country for safekeeping. Now, the
Yeah.
key takeaway with this vault thing is that you have to invest at a minimum. Normally it's about $10,000. But
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest. For guys like you and me, that's not going to be out of the ballpark. That's what I'm normally looking to cut when I do this, 5, 10, $15,000 at a
Yeah.
time.
In bulk.
So as I go forward, I'm thinking to myself, and everybody's asking me, Austin, how do I keep buying metal, especially right now that it's lower than 2000 and silver's down to 20? It's a great price, right? How do we buy this but keep it in our house? I'm like, you don't.
Yeah.
You got to just save up enough money and buy it in bulk, and I think store it
Yeah.
in a vault. It just
Totally
seems the
agree.
safest bet. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I think right now. But I do think there's more upside potential in the short term in silver. You've already
Yeah.
seen, if you look at a chart, you've already seen silver go to 50, 52, whatever the all-time high is. It's at 20. So it's got a huge chunk of movement to still just retest those
Yeah.
highs, not even to break for new highs, just to retest. Gold, on the other hand, it is recently, now it is pulling back, but it recently broke for an all-time high. So this is something that's breaking out. Normally, I'm not a guy that believes in like the breakout top and just keep buying the breakout. I'd
Yeah.
rather find better structure in a market and trade
Yeah.
and buy in at that point, buy in on pullbacks, basically, which I think silver is in. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's where I see the metal market right now. And one other thing too, just to let you know about Buffett. I actually bought some shares of the same company that he bought once I heard that he did. Because for
Right.
me to see Buffett dumping the banks, a lot of
It's
his bank shares, and
yeah.
buying this gold company means he sees value not only in gold, not only in this company, but also in the gold that's in the ground that the mines are owned by that company. So you have to think about the future investment of it too. And I
It's
think he
everything.
sees that.
Yeah.
It's
He's
everything. It's
owning
the
everything.
production. Yep. So that's why I think that you got to go at it different ways. You know what I mean?
What's your plan with silver? Because gold to me is very much long term. You know, you
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
liquidate it at any point, and I totally
Yep.
agree with buying in these particular moments of where you can bulk buy at a lower
Yep.
price.
Yep.
But because I'm not a silver investor, what's the long term game with
It's
silver? Is it the same as
Do you
gold or
want?
what?
Do you really want to know? Like, this is part of my logic. It's that it's so cheap right now, and I have the money. If I don't buy it right now, I'm going to kick myself in the face in 30 years. If it's
Right.
$300 an ounce, and I could have 10x'd my money along the way, I will kick
Yeah.
myself. So I can't let that go untouched
Really?
because of what time has taught us.
Yeah.
Silver has gone up, gold has gone up. Now you have to look at the bigger picture. I'm talking go back to like ancient Egypt. These currencies have never died. But let me tell you a different story. Just a quick thing. This is my point of reference. In the United States during the Revolutionary War, there was a currency created by the US government called the Continental, and it was created and printed to pay for the war. Well, guess what happened? I'll save you the pain. They ended up printing too much of it. It became so worthless that most of them were burned, and most people in the United States today never even know what a Continental is, bro. They never even know. So think about all the other currencies that have been burned and died and never come back.
Yeah.
Gold, not gold and silver.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
not for them.
and they wouldn't have mined the silver and gold quick enough to pay these guys who are at war, because I know there's a lot of stories around that. So that's really interesting. I didn't know that.
And the only thing that turns me away from this idea of gold and silver potentially is some people are saying that we will be able to mine gold and silver in space. Now, my first question about that is, I don't have any. I do actually. I have a little bit of, so right here, I keep it on my desk at all times. This is just, I bought it for fun. This is a gram, just 1 gram of gold spread out because it's so malleable. It can be very thin, right? And this is, I believe this is like 5 grams of silver. Okay.
Yeah.
Just looks like a $100 bill. This stuff is heavy. I don't know if you've ever felt a kilo of silver, but like when you hold a kilo, I have a couple in the safe. They're really pretty stackers. They're cool. If you feel that thing, bro, I mean, like it ain't light. Right. That's for sure. So if you put 50 of them in a bag, like it's heavy. Okay. Yeah. Put 150 of them in a bag, 1,000. No one's, you need massive machines to move this stuff. So if we mine it from space, how are we bringing it back to Earth? So that's why, like, until I figure that equation out, until I have an answer to that, I'm still going to believe silver and gold are finite on this planet, and we're not getting it from space yet. We're getting it here. And as long as we're here, it's going to go up in value.
Yeah. And to me, with gold, and obviously you with silver, for me, if someone was to say to me, what is gold to you? Well, as I put out, it's an insurance policy, because I don't believe that we'll ever get to a state of Book of Eli, Denzel Washington. Right? I don't believe that we'll get to that state.
Great movie.
I think, great movie. I think it would be a nightmare in America if you did. Everyone would be shooting each other. But, you know, I don't think it would ever get that bad. However, could we ever get to what's your opinion on this before I move on to the next topic? What's your opinion on at what state does this get to? What point do we get where we devalue so much? Where does this actually end up? Do we ever?
This is the question, bro. This is the money. This is the money question. Because if you look at other countries, like Zimbabwe is the first one, Venezuela, Argentina, Turkey, they've really screwed up their currencies in relation to the US dollar. And they've screwed up their currencies in their own country. So it's forcing people to go to crypto. It's forcing people to make black market, and just it's not good for society. But when you think about it, at least for me in America, we are the world reserve currency. If that changes, the only direction I see it changing, there's no justification to go from the dollar to the pound as the world reserve. There's no reason. It has the same risk. The only thing to change to, in my opinion, would be a crypto or a crypto/gold combo standard. That's what I could see happening sooner in order to stabilize the economy. I agree with you. I don't think we're going to Book of Eli. But look, the truth of the matter is companies are not going away, which means their shares are not going away. Now, the stock market is completely detached from the actual values of these companies. It is not a reflection anymore. It's completely propped up. It's completely manipulated. So investing in assets, I think, is just, when you talk about the Book of Eli and in that movie, I think of the future of buying stocks as that. If you buy stocks with all of your free money, it's going to look like that for you. So I think you have to look at gold as a hedge. That's how I look at it. It is It's going to save me from inflation because I don't want to leave the money at Wells Fargo, get 0.0000002% a year, right? I
Yeah.
don't really, the highest online savings account that I can find is like maybe 0.8%. And my Marcus account at Goldman Sachs is 0.6. So there's nowhere to leave money and not lose money, if that makes sense. There's no, you have to find places. So gold is one of them. I do think so. Even if the value of that money does go, like, let's say you bought gold when it was up to 2,000 and now it's at 1,800, you technically lost money, especially for the premium that you probably paid on buying that physical gold because they charge you a premium. You can't need this money. So the money that I'm using gold 100%. To hedge against is money that I know I don't need right now. 100%. But I know if I put 15 grand into gold now and I need it in 30 years, it's probably going to be worth more than 15 grand. Probably, especially if they keep printing dollars, I'm going to be doing all right, But one more thing to your point, I don't think I will take any of my gold at that point and go pay for things with it. That will not be the answer. I think what would more likely be the situation is you have gold. And if you have gold, you can exchange it for a crypto. If you have dollars, they're less valuable than the gold. You can exchange the dollar for the crypto, and everything is digital. Everything goes to crypto. But if you have physical gold, you can exchange that. It makes you more wealthy in the crypto world, is what I would think. Maybe.
I never thought about that because I still have a part of me that thinks, what do I do with the gold that I'll continue investing? Like you always say to yourself, what is the end goal? Well, I have it. It's money that you don't need. So you just hit the nail on the head. But I never ever thought about it in the sense that that could be the purchase to buying into the digital currency eventually.
There's actually a coin. So I was talking to Riley about this on our podcast, which everybody should go check out. Subtle plug. And I was talking about this idea of this crypto backed by gold. And this guy, Nick, who I trade with, he's in the Forex group with us. He sent to me there is a coin. I think it's affiliated with Tether and it is backed by actual gold. That's an idea to me that has a lot more substance. The problem with crypto, and we don't need to go into a crypto tangent if you don't want to yet, but the problem for me is that these guys, number one, everybody online loves it. Everybody online loves it. Okay, that's great. But that's not applicable in the real world. I'm not going to pay for they used to use Bitcoin to pay for World of Warcraft. You know what I'm saying? It's still partially like that. On top of that, they say that Bitcoin is a great market because it only has 21 million Bitcoin that can be mined. And I love that it's a finite market, which means it has value. Listen, I use this lighter. I could sell this lighter and create a market around lighters that I've used and increase right? You can create a market just because people agree to it. But, and because it's finite, okay? There's only one of these that I've used. That's what that market would be made up of, right? But the problem that I have with it is of the 21 million, you don't know who controls those top wallet addresses. And in my webinar, I talked about this. The distribution of Bitcoin is heavily weighted, just like the US stock market. It's heavily weighted to those top wallets. The people that have the most control the most. That's not a great place to be investing.
That's volatility, isn't it?
It's volatility and it's screaming manipulation, just like you said about the stock market. If we know for a fact 84% of the stock market is owned by the top, let's just call it 10% conservatively of Americans. If we know they own most of it, we know it's manipulated. Okay, look at crypto. You're saying it's the same thing. We know, so the crypto heads will, they'll always be bullish. At the end of the day, for everybody listening, we could talk theory and theory and theory and theory and theory. Look at a chart, okay? Yeah. When Bitcoin spiked to 17,000, 20,000 back in 2017, if you had bought it, you could have exited that position using a simple moving average crossover that I use in an 8 and 21 EMA. You would have been out of the trade at like 15,000. If you looked at Bitcoin a few weeks ago, the 8 and 21 moving average were moving higher. It broke them down at 11,000. Now we're down to 10,600. We were just at 9,000 the other day. Simple technical analysis can save you a ton of money and get back in when it crosses back up and it starts to move again. You know what I mean? So I think that's really how I've been trading Bitcoin, using just a daily time frame.
I've got a bit of a golden question for you then, which I suppose no one has the answer to. Just before I ask, it's funny with Bitcoin, right? I spend a small part of my time learning a little bit about Bitcoin just to stay in the know. But what's really interesting is I buy from two places in the UK for gold. I buy from the Royal Mint, our main manufacturer.
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yep.
Or I will buy from a company called Sharps Pixley.
Okay.
They've been around for over 300 years. In a very affluent area part of London, and it's a physical shop you can go in. They do all kinds of gold. What's interesting is they will accept gold purchase through
In
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Yeah, bro. That is
That's really
interesting.
interesting.
That is interesting.
We're talking an over 300-year company that will now accept
So what does that
Bitcoin.
mean? But what does that mean? Does that mean that they just want to
Exactly.
take people's money and like they just want to be a good business and take in payment any way they want? Or does that mean
Or are
that
they
they
seeing the
see
future?
something in, right? I don't know. That is the question, bro. That
We're
is the,
we're on you're on one side of
no,
the pond, I'm
look,
on the other, but we're here.
we would be foolish today to sit here and say that Bitcoin and crypto are going to die. That would
Yeah.
be foolish.
Yeah.
We also would be foolish to say Bitcoin and crypto are a guaranteed future. Think about
Yeah.
it like this. In the US stock market, when we had the tech boom, the companies that led the tech boom initially, those first movers, they don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
If Bitcoin is that same thing, we might see a huge wave go into cryptocurrency, a huge wave of blockchain technology taking over but Bitcoin might go to 10. How do we know? So I don't
Exactly.
think you can say Bitcoin is the future. I think you can say crypto more likely is the future than Bitcoin. You know, when you're talking about certainty, that seems much more certain than Bitcoin being it. The only reason Bitcoin exists as a market is because people agree to it. If the Fed steps in, or the world governments, central banks agree to move to a digital dollar, and then the world is backed by this digital dollar, what if everybody has to exchange their Bitcoins for digital like you don't? So it's very tough to say what cryptocurrency will be.
Do you not think Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, this is a take on it, I don't know what your thoughts on my take is, that I look at everything as demand. Everything business is demand, to the value of what it is. Do you not think that this could be an organic thing with Bitcoin, or is it manipulated, or is there a hidden agenda to eventually move to Bitcoin? Because we're devaluing the cash so much that it is forcing people to look at options at Bitcoin. Because look, you can't just introduce Bitcoin into a high street bank. It's not going to happen. It will never get approved. However, if you organically start moving people into preparing for Bitcoin by all this QE that's happening, this devaluing, people are themselves, they are policing themselves to go and buy Bitcoin, and they're hedging their bets because everyone is now questioning how far does the QE, how far do we devalue our money to the point where I need to go, hang on a minute, I need to make my own decision, I'm buying Bitcoin. Is it not possibly a hidden agenda move to push people over to digital currency?
You know, I don't know if I don't know, right? We never know for sure. You and me are just nobody. We don't know. We're just making YouTube videos. But I think if there was any type of agenda, it is to just create more of a divide for power, because quantitative easing, printing of money, whatever you want to call it, all it does is decrease the value of the dollar. Well, that's a great thing for people that have a lot of that and want to move it into other assets, because then they can make it worth more because they can move the money out of it. But for the average person, it is not a good thing. Increasing the cost of living is not a good thing. So the agenda, to me, more than anything, is make life harder for the people that it's already hard for, and make it easier for the very few wealthy people. You know, that's what it seems like to me. And whether that's intentional or not, that would make it an agenda or not, that is the byproduct of what's happening. You know what I mean? Let me tell you, just so I can show you this in real life. Look at the cars that you see driving on the road. You know what I need? You know what I notice here? I notice a lot more flat tires. I notice a lot more taillights out. You know what that means to me? People don't have the money to pay to get it fixed. And that's not a great thing. And I pull up in my Tesla and I'm like, oh shit, man, I kind of feel bad. I do. Today, there's a guy parked out, like I can see my car, and there's a guy 3 cars over out the window. He's got 2 flat tires, bro, and his car is all messed up. And I'm like, that is like how it
Forcing
felt real.
People to live dangerously.
Yes. Yep. For those that are not positioned correctly. And here's like my kicker when you talk about markets going forward. If you want to talk about all this Bitcoin and all this future metal and all this stuff about the future, we got to talk about our own skills and us being able to be functioning members of a digital economy. That's what we're living in. It is Zoom meetings and investing and numbers on the screen, no real cash, no real coins. It's changing. So you need to change with it, or you get left. You got to be like me and you, adapting, learning how to make money online, creating businesses, or you're going to get left. And it sucks because people want the government to boost them up and take care of them and bring them along in every country, but it ain't happening. It just isn't. You got to take it for yourself. And it sucks because of this divide. It's hard for people to do that because guess what? Money makes money, bro. Little money makes little money. Very few people turn little money into big money. little money can grow to big money over time, but it doesn't just happen. But for the guys that have $1 million to start with, yeah, they might make 500 grand in a year. And when you and me and everybody else hears 500 grand, we're like, wow, but look at what they started with. So once you start making a couple hundred grand, you know what I mean? Then you start looking at things a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in a position now where we're able to diversify into some of the metals, into some of the crypto, into some of the stuff that I do with my trading, and even into stocks, where you can get to the point of being like, well, now I understand why they used to say big money needs big money, because you have to be split across multiple areas to keep that money safe, you know?
Absolutely. It's so interesting because there's so many little arms here to what we could talk about in regards to people wanting their pensions, living off the pensions. You know, something I heard the other day, which was really interesting. Before I move on to the next one, I heard that Japan was a country where insurance policies were starting to struggle because the longevity of people living. That's crazy. Because they're living so long, the government has basically said, we can't fund you to live this long. You're living too long. You're drawing down too much.
So when you say insurance, you're saying like medical insurance and stuff, not life insurance, medical insurance.
Medical insurance. They're using
the benefits.
They're using the benefits to what they've paid for their whole life, but the government weren't prepared for them to live that long. It's insane.
That is such a funny problem. Let me tell you what we have here. Here in the United States, it's the opposite. We have a decreasing mortality rate for the first time. Don't quote me. I want to say 20 years. It might be 40. The first time. So we have people fatter, unhealthier, dying sooner. But guess what? Our insurance companies still are going to have issues paying people out because our economy is built on debt. Japan's economy is not. So Japan has the healthier human problem and healthier economy problem. We have the same end problem that we can't pay out some of the policies, but it's because people are dying sooner. So it's just interesting. You know what I mean? So like, think about this with Medicare here for people like me. If I'm 25, I'll be 26 in January. If I had a regular job and I wasn't a trader.
Man, I'm older than you. Oh my God, you make me feel old.
No, dude. You look like you're my age. So don't tell me how old you are. Don't tell anybody. You could pass for 25, no problem. But listen,
I'm 25.
If I had a regular job, let's just say from 20 to 25, 5 years of working, every check that I make, if I don't own my own business, goes to Social Security, goes to Medicare, goes to these benefit programs to pay for people now. It doesn't go, they say that it's for me in my future, but there's no guarantee that money is there. Do you get what I'm saying? So we have the same problem here that Japan has, but we have it because we're built on debt, and that money is being spent elsewhere. It's being spent too fast by all these fat people dying sooner.
Do you know, we could talk about that for, oh my God. So,
bro, they want you fat, bro. They keep you fat for a reason. We know that.
We are. Even over here, we're paying for people who are retiring now or in the next 10 years. And they've actually put our retirement age back in the UK by an additional
They did that here too. Yeah, 2 years. I think it's 67 now or 69.
It's almost like a natural cull. But look, I'm going to move on. I think we could, oh man, we could kill that.
Yeah. What else you got?
I want to know, this is a really big thing for me, and it's the Circle of Five. I wrote a blog on this on my blog page, and it was also speaking from experience.
Okay.
Go check it out. It's a good write-up, and it's called Circle of Five.
Okay.
How important is it for you to be spending your time around the right people, and how key is it to the performance of you with Riley? And, you know, ultimately, just to answer for myself, I block out all negativity. If someone breathes one word of negativity or just does not fit within my circle and doesn't have vision, creativity, I'm not being rude and I'm not being ruthless. I am being ruthless, but in the right way.
You're being selfish, bro. You're being selfish for the right reasons.
Yeah, I have one chance and I need to be around the right people. How important is it to you for your Circle of Five?
You know, I did an interview with a guy back, this is 6 years ago when I used to do YouTube videos. I was doing interviews with people back when I lived in Philadelphia, and he kind of looked like you too. So it's funny. His name was Steve. I won't use his last name, just don't need to. And Steve and I walked around Philadelphia, and my buddy Andrew filmed it. Andrew had like a really nice glide cam. It looked really professional. And we were just talking to business owners about like how they have achieved success. Cause I was trying to, I was 19. I was like trying to learn. 18, I'm trying to become an entrepreneur. So you got to learn from people. You got to listen to Gary Vee and study people. So I get these guys to meet with me and do my YouTube videos because they like me or whatever. And me and Steve are walking around the city, and he's telling me this story about how he doesn't have a lot of friends. Because I asked him a similar question about like, how do you choose who you spend your time with? He's a real estate agent. And so he's busy all the time, selling houses, meeting with potential clients, not investors, more on the retail side. And he said to me that he has a tool. He looks at the people that he spends his time with outside of his clients and work as his tool belt. And he's like, if you think about it, if you put too much weight on the tool belt, your pants fall down. But if you can balance the tool belt properly on the right side, the left side, the back, and the front, you won't have any issues. You don't need a ton. You just need the right things is basically the idea, and the right people. And he was explaining how like his girlfriend fit a role, his dad fit a role. So I think it is such a big piece of success. And I feel like that's where I really picked up on it. And then you hear everybody say that it's, you are who you become, you become who you spend the most time around, whatever the saying is, right? I think it's more than that. It's more about like, who do you engage with? It's not just like hanging out with, because I don't hang out with people just to hang out. I don't remember you know what I mean? I do go out and we'll socialize and stuff, but not for long periods of time, not just sitting around. So I think if you're just hanging out in general, that's a wrong thing, but it's who are you learning from? Who are you talking to? Like you and me, who are you spending time watching videos from and consuming content from? Those things matter more than anything else, especially the subconscious programming of it. When I'm sitting at 7:00 at night and I'm watching a video, it's a lot stupid. My brain is in a state where if I watch a stupid video, that's going to condition me in ways that I can't even describe to you right now. It's subconscious. But if I know that I'm in that state in whatever time of day it is for you, put something positive in front of you, put something educational in front of you. It's going to get you thinking different. It's going to get you looking at the world differently. And I think that also keeps you open-minded. The biggest disease that impacts people is closed-mindedness. And the only reason you become closed-minded is because the people around you aren't feeding you and your ego the right way. So that's really all it is. If you can stay open-minded because of the people you keep around you and because of the content you consume, you never stop growing. And if you never stop growing, then I feel like that's the purpose of life, is to never stop growing and never stop learning. Money is not the purpose of life. Business is not the purpose of life. If it wasn't for our society, we wouldn't, like, you know what I mean? Fish don't create businesses. So it's like, there's more to the purpose of life than that stuff. And I think that that's where it comes in. You know what I mean?
So aligned with that. And it's, you know, there's a real like old school mentality where it can't be done, or, you know, it hasn't been done before, or, you know, you're not meant to be that person. And then I don't know if you find this, but I find with anyone that you know of a past time, you know, maybe someone you went to school with and stuff like that, you will find these people that there's a lot of envy and guilt and regret. And I find that this is what I'm talking about, is you need to really separate. And when I separated all this envy and regret that people were holding on and looking at what you're doing, and then, like you say, applying, you know, yourself around. I totally agree. I don't really hang around with people. I engage and learn and spend time with those who take me to the next level, or allow me to learn and educate myself and know things that I don't, so I can expand my knowledge and broaden my mindset. So I think it's such a huge part of being able to reach the next level. So I'm totally aligned with what you said. So those are
I think you got to be comfortable with being yourself too. I never was really okay with that until I was more until I really found who I am, started to go down that path of self-discovery. Because then you're confident to be alone. You're confident to make your own decisions. You're not trying to make anyone else happy. You're not trying to fit a social standard. You're not trying to do anything for anybody else. You know, like when I left college, it was a super easy decision for me because I already know I already at that point knew who I was. You know, this was 6 years ago. I already knew who I was. My dad and everybody else, they didn't understand it, but I already knew. You know, like I had enough confidence that I would figure it out on my own. And that confidence came from being comfortable being by myself, being myself, like just being myself, you know, and then finding people that aligned with that version of me, right? Not the 15-year-old version of me that was trying to fit some other image of what I thought people would like me as, you know what I mean? So you have to be comfortable with who you are before you can find the right people to spend time with, because the right people already know who they are, and they don't fuck with people who don't know who they are. They won't like you if you're trying to fit an image, right? They'll smell it. Smart people smell bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be yourself. You got to tap into that intuition of who you are, and then open yourself up to the best resources, the best people to provide you with positive reinforcement. Like I've told people, if your family, like, because in trading, a lot of people's families don't support them, right? Especially at first, like my dad didn't. My dad still doesn't really get it, you know, but a lot of people, their parents don't when they first start. They're not making any money, right? Yeah. I tell them, I'm like, stop talking to your parents about it. Like, what do you want me to do? Baby you and say, you got to talk to your mommy and daddy. And
no, you don't. Approval.
No, you don't. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to make them happy. Guess what? This is reality. Their life is separate from yours. You might have come out of your mom's vagina, but it's a separate life.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And they're always going to want the safest route for you because they don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah.
And you have to remember that. So if they don't agree with what you're doing, yeah, exactly. I just tell them, stop listening to them. Don't talk to them about it. Talk to them about other things. Put on headphones and listen to Gary Vee. Listen to Grant Cardone. Listen to people that are going to tell, like me. Listen to me. Listen to you. Listen to people that are going to bring you that value rather than tell you what you can't do. No. You're not telling me what I can't do. You're telling me what you can't do. You just put my name in front of it.
Yeah.
Keep my name out of your mouth, Mom. You know what I'm saying?
We're so aligned, and it's knowing what conversations to have with your parents, because I can't talk coronavirus with my mum because
no, I can't talk coronavirus with my dad either, bro. No,
we're willing to question. We're not willing to just accept the media as telling us.
Open-minded.
Yeah, there are too many questions, not enough answers on COVID. But there we go.
Fact.
I want to touch in on which is very similar to me. It's three arms to this. You have a really good routine from what I see. It seems to be consistent. And I believe that routine touches in with timing of creativity. So I don't know about you, but my most creative is between 6 and about 10:30 in the morning, flowing with ideas.
Yep.
How important is a routine to you in order to perform at your best?
Well, I think it's important to everybody. You might not know it yet.
Yeah.
It goes before the routine. I always want to talk about like what you're feeding the machine. If you want the machine to proper, like that you're building a robot, the robot needs to know what it needs to do at what time. Yeah. If you build the robot with used parts and you fill it with used oil, it's not going to run well. So first, the two things that you have to address before you address the routine is always diet and sleep and exercise. It's part of it too. It's like the three things before. So you have to be sleeping enough. I wear this fitness tracker. It's charging right now. It's cool. It's got like the charger slips onto it, bro. Isn't that sick? This is the charger.
We're there, mate.
So you wear that. It helps me know when I get good recovery, what I need to do that day to get a better recovery tomorrow, right? That's a part of it. Eating healthy. We only shop organic food. Of course, we eat out a lot because I hate cooking and Riley hates cooking and we're busy. So we eat out probably at least once a day. We're eating out or ordering food, and that's not organic all the time. But the rest of the food that we do, we try to do healthy, and I think that has made a big impact on me. I look the same almost now than I did when I was 18. You know what I'm saying? So that says something. And I think the exercise, you got to be physical. There's, especially as a male, I think there is something in us that, bro, when I get mad and I go let it out and I go outside and run sprints and then I come back, I'm better. I'm back to Austin. But when I'm mad, I'm aware of it enough. So you gotta, that is a real thing. Biology and your internal chemistry is a real thing. So you have to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
But then on the routine, I think you just settle in, bro. And if you love what you're doing, it's super easy. You beat your alarm clock up every day. Like I'm up today, 4:15. My alarm goes off every day at 5. So I'm up some days at 3. Some days at 4. I don't know why. I'm not a big sleeper maybe, but I also don't mind making coffee at 3, sitting down and starting my day. I don't mind. I like it. I love what I do.
You're optimizing and you're maximizing your ability to go and perform.
Yep. And then the rest of the day is really just every day's like, I can't do the same thing every day. So I have my tasks that I have to get done, which is like my trading, the calls that I might have to do, but every day I might have 3 calls, no calls. I might block off a whole day like I did today. After 3 o'clock today, no meetings, going to the pool. It's Friday, doing my, you know what I mean? So every day is flexible. But again, back to the routine and the sleep and everything, still not staying up super late, even on the weekends, going to sleep, keeping the body in that rhythm. That is important. It's called your circadian rhythm. You got to keep that on pace. And I think on the weekends, I don't drink, right? I do like to smoke occasionally, but I'm not a drinker. I don't poison myself with that crap because I think it's 100% poison, right? So I think if you just do what we know to be at this point in this day and age, 2020, man, there's blogs, videos, everything about how to be healthy. If you care enough, figure it out for your body. Everybody's body is different, but then if you optimize the machine, you can crush the routine. That's a quote right there, bro. Optimize the routine or machine to crush the routine.
Do you know what I like? Gary Vee quoted this, and so true. There is a million different ways of programs, working out programs, diets that you can follow.
Yep.
Simple. Eat healthy, work out more.
Yeah, that's it, bro.
It's as simple as that. If you're going to, I look at it, if you MOT a car, we call it MOT over here. If you're going to service your car, why are you not servicing your body?
That's exactly what I'm saying. You got to put, it's got to be dude, I mean, if you drive a beautiful Mercedes, are you going to put unleaded gas into it? No, bro.
Yeah.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. And
You're going to go
I might,
premium.
yeah, exactly, bro. That's what I'm saying. You're a Bentley. You're a Tesla. You don't even need gas. You're on another level. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm. So yeah, 100%. Your body is the machine. It is.
It is. I
And
totally agree.
dude, even like, I don't know, are you into yoga? Like, are you doing yoga?
My wife's trying to get me into yoga.
Highly recommend it, bro. I got a class this
I
morning
know.
after this call. I got a hot yoga class.
I see you
90
do
minutes,
it.
bro. Fucking you where your mind goes while you're doing that. I mean, I'm crazy. So I'm in there holding these poses and I'm looking at myself in the mirror because I can't see without my glasses. So I'm really close to the mirror so I can see myself. And I'm looking at myself and I'm like, you're not going to fall, motherfucker. You're a badass. All these other people are falling. You're not falling. I'm sweating and shaking. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you're not going to fucking fall. You're going to do what you said. You're going to hold it. So it's like this whole powerful, like overcoming something that's hard and sweaty and you're wet and you just feel, it feeds something in me. You know what I mean?
No, I should. I've done it a couple of times, and it is refreshing, and it does get you set up for the day. I must take time. Right, last question, just before we wrap it up. What's your reason why? Why are you doing what you're doing? What is the reason?
I always like to answer by saying it's because like I said earlier, I know who I am. So I'm a high achiever. I like to, like you just heard in the yoga thing, I like to set a goal, set something out, and accomplish it. So I need to do things that feed the high achiever. I'm also knowing my own strengths because I've taken a lot of strength finder tests. I am a high achiever. It comes up a lot. I'm an encourager, which means I like to push other people to be their best when they want to be pushed. So I need to teach and coach other people. And I also think I'm just, like Riley likes to describe it, an energizer bunny that loves life. So why I do what I do is just because I love living life. And I was fortunate enough, I guess you would say, but I've worked really hard for a long time. Like I've worked my ass off to build a life that's pretty good. And I love living it. So it's like, that's why. And the corny answer that everybody says, you know, Riley, my family, money, trips. But no, why I do what I do is because I am who I am. And I am a high achiever. I'm an encourager. I'm a learner. I also, one of my other strengths is like, it's called a relator, which means I can make topics easily relatable, right? So just things like that. I know who I am, and that helps me make sure the things that I do every day are things that I'm good at and things that I enjoy.
Yeah, that's a great answer. It's a different
Thanks,
answer
man.
because, like you say, most of it is based around children.
Oh, my why is my kids. Yeah, I know you love your kids, but you actually, when you ask somebody, think about what you're asking. Why are you doing what you're doing? Well, the true answer is it's because do you know who you are? Like that's why you would act that way. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know, just to finish, I think contentment is something that is missed out a lot. When you're content, fully content, there's no anxiety, there's no depression, there's no stress.
It just sucks, bro, because most people are in survival mode. They never get to the contentment.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to help people, and with my courses and with trading, I'm trying to get more people to contentment. I don't need to make billionaires. I really don't. But if I can help people make a couple $1,000 a month and cover their bills and maybe only have to work a part-time job instead of a full-time job, or maybe they don't have to work another job at all eventually, like me, then I'm leaving my part. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my part to try to help.
Amazing. It's amazing. And, you know, I'm going to tag you in. We're going to spread it out on social media, but ASFX, if anyone wants to check you out, they can reach out to you, Justin.
Yeah.
Learn about Forex.
If anybody hits you up and asks you for Bitcoin or anything with pictures of me, it ain't me. So make sure you talk to me if you reach out to me. You got to find me, Austin Silver FX.
Check in with the voice note on Austin. But Austin, it's been amazing. I think if me and you had a night out, if we ever come to America,
it'd be a 24-hour event, bro. It would not just be a night out. We'd be out till the next day talking.
I think it would be. It'd be an amazing night. But I love speaking with you, Austin. And
likewise, brother.
You know, I hope we can do this again soon, and we can cover off some other amazing topics. But it's been amazing, and I'll tag all your links and Austin's social media tags and everything like that, and we'll get you linked up and followed by Austin, and we'll send over his details. So let's do it. But thank you for coming, Austin. It's been amazing.
Thank you, brother.
Cheers, Austin.